Ravenswatch. I really didn't like this game when I first started playing it. The maps felt too chaotic, the enemies too hard to defeat, and the timer made it feel like I had no control over the game and no chance to grow my character the way I want to do. On top of that, the first character on the game, the auto selects for you, is probably one of the most difficult characters, being melee with the two forms that you have no control over selecting and two fully different sets of abilities. I'm not a skilled gamer and felt like this game was targeted for someone with more skill and better reaction times than me. I only kept playing because of the co-op mode. We have trouble finding games like we play together, but in Ravenswatch we found a game that completely shares all resources, meaning on the same map we could play separately or together as we felt inclined at not being penalized. This made for an enjoyable co-op experience because I don't want to worry about my friend taking more than his fair share of loot. Over time, I went on from wanting to play the co-op to playing it solo, and here I started to really enjoy the game. Ravenswatch giving an ample opportunity to play a mastery to make an impact of the game. The more I played, the more I began to learn the attack patterns of the enemies, how maps were set up so that I could navigate them more efficiently, and how I get choices from the going for easy nodes within the map for a low rewards or harder nodes for a better rewards. The timer bothered me less because I saw how the game was balanced around it. Most playthroughs I had no trouble at all reaching max level before the last boss, so my focus was able to shift from killing as many enemies as possible to strategically choosing which nodes were the best to complete based on my current character strength. The combat in this game feels really good. The characters are kinetic with both head dash and defense ability to help mitigate damage, and a small set of interesting damage abilities. The majority of the damage that enemies put on the entirely avoidable, so once their attack pattern is learned, combat begins to feel like something that can be controlled. The character design is unique, even within the genre, and very good. Each character feels different to play and has its own gimmick that changes the way you approach a run. Anyone who has bought an early access has essentially paid for the 3-course meal, the courses being the same size, knowing that the second and the third will be delayed. Those who less than an hour played have done the equivalent of taking one bite of what they're given and saying it's not enough, when they still have a nearly full plate left in the front of them. Due to this, I would just ignore them, and when you do, as started above, the rating jumps up. Unfortunately, these who have the valid gripes with the core design are also ignored, though they are negligible compared to the sheer amount of which complain about the lack of content. Risk of Rain 2 and Hades also released into early access. This feels very similar in terms of both polish and content available. In hindsight, both started with the 30% of the final content of release. Out of 3, I actually believe Ravenswatch has the best release date. Not only does it have the same amount of content present now as the other two did, but it will also be added to the finish in the year, if the devs manage their proposed schedule, which is sooner than the roughly 1.5 years it took the Risk of Rain 2 and Hades. And finally, for those who find one map of the boss the big issue, I think really it's a case of quality over the quantity. If we compare once again, Hades started with one zone, clearing rooms of enemies to receive rewards before facing the same boss. Risk of Rain 2 had 5 maps and multiple bosses, but with less depth than it present here in Ravenswatch. There's far more to do on this one map than it was present in both other games to begin with. This is an enjoyable, fun game, and I look forward to seeing what the dev team does with the continuous journey through the early access. My biggest complaint right now is having maxed out of the characters I enjoy playing. I feel there is no reason for me to continue playing them. More additions to the overall metagame to give me a reason to continue playing would be welcome. Assuming my new player experience with the game wasn't unique to me, I think the game could just be a benefit from a gentle introduction to the game. While I just don't love other games that hold your hand with the initial tutorial for every single little thing, I think starting player off with a simpler character, auto-selected beowulf maybe, and adding an easy game difficulty mode with a reduced monster damage, density and perhaps all clean nodes could help with a new player to learn the ropes and not give up on the game. as I would have done if not for playing co-op. So thank you guys for watching this review, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. See you in the next reviews.